Well, hello, our Facebook friends. We're so glad you're with us today, and we've got a great report that you are beginning to forward our live Facebook post, and more people are understanding what we're up against. We're talking about the war on seniors by our Congress and Senate, and they're in both parties. And people are thanking me for starting this protest. So today I'm going to be bringing you more insight as to what is happening through our Congress. And for everybody that has written off politics as Christians, you've got to rethink your position. And I'm trying to bridge that gap of ignorance so that we can unite and back down criminal activity in our government. It's not just in the FBI and the CIA. We have got members of Congress that have a slush fund, and they still have it. And if we saw really what they're funding right now, barely, because they haven't had a budget in years, they're the most useless group of people that's getting the highest pay you can possibly get for working 100 days a year. And you can't ignore that anymore. So I want you to know, call your friend and say, Faye, it's live. We really need to hear what she's saying today. I'm going to bring you some more breaking news on how they're raiding Social Security and their plan for seniors. And I'm going to explain to you in depth that it is a spiritual battle. I'm a prayer ministry leader. I believe in the Word of God. I believe it works. I believe when it is what it says. And I believe there's judgment on the people that don't take care of the widows and the fatherless. As Micah, we hear about giving and it shall be given unto you. We hear in Micah about the tithe. But in Micah 3:10 is quoted all over the United States on giving to get your reward. But in 3:5, it says if you don't take care of the widows and the fatherless, you're going to be judged by God. And what we've got, we have elected the people that are making these decisions. So I'm not passing the buck. I'm looking in the mirror. And you need to as well. We have members of Congress. They have spent trillions. And I've told you that before. Trillions. If we just took in 3 to 4 trillion a year for 16, 17 years, they spent it all. So 4 times 15 is 60 trillion. And that's modest. And then they raided the Social Security Trust Fund another 7 or 8 trillion dollars, and they spent it. We've got a $20 trillion deficit. They spent it. And they are telling everybody that America is in trouble. But they are the root of the trouble. And they were elected by the people in this country. So if you're going to change anything, you've got to understand politics. You've got to know who you're voting for. And they come out with their rhetoric to get reelected. But you never hear the facts, basically, about much else. Even conservatives that have programs, they don't ask questions. I sit there and say, ask this, ask that. But what they've done, they've cut back on Social Security. They have a law. We've talked about it. This last week, they said they're cutting back on the amount of Medicare dollars that are going to go to hospitals. That's going to restrict seniors of specific care. Now, when they get on and people start asking, oh, it's waste, fraud, and abuse. Well, it's always been waste, fraud, and abuse. They haven't done anything about it. They don't plan to do anything about waste, fraud, and abuse because they don't work enough. But when you go to the hospital with an emergency and you've been there in a certain period of time, you'll pay if you get any care, because they are reducing the amount of dollars of Medicare funds, not Medicaid, Medicare. The war on seniors must be told. So I'm going to give you a couple of pointers today. Number one, you need to get the congressional directory I've been telling you about. You can go to my website and order it. I'm asking for a donation of $50, $100, because you need to know who's in office so you can make sure that we vote them out. Also, you need to know how many Social Security Trust Fund dollars they've raided and spent it. And now they're telling us that Social Security is an entitlement. I have a book that's going to be coming out in just a couple of weeks, that Social Security is not an entitlement. So you need to watch for that, because I'm going to give you the specifics of how they are eliminating Social Security while they are elevating the funds to illegal aliens. It is so unbelievable. They get everything. Nancy Pelosi just spent 8.5 hours talking about how we must fund and give citizenship to DACA, illegal aliens. Their parents brought them here, and their parents should be responsible for where they are now. But why did it take so long for our government to do its job? They're supposed to enforce the law. Nancy Pelosi and her husband, her family, owns $1 million vineyards in California. I have read reports that she hires hundreds of illegal aliens and has for years. And that's why she needs government subsidies, because they are cheap labor. Many of them, I'm not sure with the Pelosi situation, work for cash only. But we subsidize their pay. Up to $135 billion is one of the reports. But seniors are making less than $1,000 a month. We've had them call and write and let me know. And we're in tears at hearing the stories. No federal subsidy for any senior that makes less than $1,000. A lot of them $400, $500, $600 a month. No subsidies. And I asked God what we could do here. Number one, your government's got to hear from you. This morning, I heard Lindsey Graham say that they are going to begin to deal with the entitlements. The budget that they're trying to pass increases their spending. The only thing they really want to cut is Social Security and Medicare, he said, entitlements. Those are the two things that he mentioned. And boy, I'm telling you, it shook me up. If we don't act now, we are not going to have an opportunity to act. We are going to be victims of politicians that many of them have committed crimes that they are covering up and paid off with tax dollars due to a slush fund. I'm trying to get your attention, people. I wish I could sell you a prophecy that's going to tell you everything's cool. Well, everything is not cool. When we wipe out the seniors in this country, 3/4 of our young people don't believe there's a God. The gospel will go in the graves with them. We have an opportunity to vote for men and women who uphold our Constitution, who believe there's a God, like our president does. But the deception is beyond anything we can imagine, and we cannot remain silent any longer. And I need for you to decide to contact me, join me, and our protest is going to come to light. I believe it. Do I have somebody a comment, or was that a time? Huh? Time? Yeah. Okay. Here's what I want you to do with this week's Faye's Facts. Number one, you need to know the phone numbers of members of Congress, because that's who you need to. We have to do it by the system. They've raped the system, but we're not going to, because the election is coming in November. You need to know how much money is in this new budget for illegals. It's unlawful to aid and abet an illegal, but our lawmakers are doing just that. The people in this country are not safe. The Democrat Party, right now, from its actions, people are writing me and calling me, and they believe that the Democrats are a threat to our national security. Now, my weekly prayer bulletin is e-blasted. If you would go to our website, insightUSA.us, enter your email address, you will get our updated current event e-blast that lots of times you will not hear from anywhere else as a Christian, because you don't watch news programs and you don't listen to talk radio. I know. I am in the world of evangelical Christians. But you can trust, and I can verify all the statistics that I quote. But if we do not protest the plan of our politicians, the Congress, Senate, Republicans, and Democrats, to eliminate our Social Security and Medicare, we will be very sorry. If we do not allow them to know they're going to be voted out of office, but we now have to plan to get people, men and women, who believe in God, running in the primaries. We have no time to waste. The Lord showed me last week that we were on our Saturday, I do a Saturday free conference and prayer call and briefing every week at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. The number that you call is 712-432-0900. But you must email us or call our office to get the access code. We'd love for you to come on it. Last week we were on there from 2 o'clock to 5:30. We just couldn't get off. While we were praying, my intercessors nationwide were running around 50 people a week that's praying for this God-blessed country, and they are educated. They believe in what they're doing. They are understanding the issues. They are informed, they're united, they're anointed, and they see me as their leader. And man, do we have a unity beyond words. It was during that call that the Lord showed me there's going to be a mass exodus out of the Democrat Party. Don't buy the loud rhetoric and bluff. We are praying in our Faith Facts for God to expose all of the criminal activity, not only in the FBI, the CIA. And this week's Faith Facts you do not want to miss. It's entitled The Spying on America. I am giving you facts that will cause you to be overwhelmed with saying, where have we been? The truth is out there, but you must seek the truth. So if you would go to our 800 number, and the number is on your screen, and make a donation and say, Faye, please please keep up the pace. I am organizing a protest of seniors to tell people in our Congress the pension programs of the Congress are $100,000 to $200,000 a year for life. The $2,000 a year they give for child credits, just give it, have at it. Don't pay a dime in taxes. Seniors don't get that. Most of our seniors don't get enough that would equal minimum wage in their monthly Social Security checks. That is a disgrace. And the squandering and the waste of our tax dollars just keeps going on, and they haven't even made a budget in years. These people don't work. They just know how to get on TV, do their talking points, and tell the host, oh, I know, we've got to, I wish I had $1 for every time. I know, Lou, we've got to do this. I know, Sean, we've got to do this. All they do is come on and do their rhetoric, and they leave and laugh, because you and I are the ones picking up the bills. I need to hear from you. If you make less than $1,000 a month in your Social Security check, I want to know it. Please email faye.usainsight@gmail.com or write to me. Do not call me because I can't take the calls. I need it to be in your handwriting or your emails. We have got to protest the abuse of seniors by politicians in both parties. They have robbed Social Security of trillions of dollars. They don't plan to pay it back. But they get their pensions out there, and it's not an entitlement. We must talk back. I really want, the best thing you could do is call the 800 number. The number that's on your screen, 855-887-7321, and make a donation, as small or as large as God would have you to make it. We must have spots made. I looked at a commercial this morning another organization had made, and I said, I need that. They are raising money, millions, multi-millions of dollars, for Holocaust survivors. They say they're starving to death. Well, the rabbi became a millionaire off of the Christians that he's telling, please feed Holocaust survivors. You need to know the whole story about that. But I thought, that's what I need. And I need some of the testimonies that's come into our ministry of seniors that are starving to death in this country. And we've got Nancy Pelosi standing up 8 hours on behalf of illegals. And she wouldn't stand up and give an applause to the success our nation has experienced, even with the jobs for our black brothers and sisters being the most jobs in years and years. She would not clap. They're confused. And they're not nearly as strong as they want to make you think. Neither are they as popular. They have organized the illegals. They've organized the have-nots. They've organized the freeloaders. They've organized the communists, the nasty women, and the mobs. That's who they represent. And we are sitting here picking up the bill. But seniors, we don't have to. This can change. Will you get in touch with me? Don't forget our 2 o'clock call on Saturdays, every Wednesday at noon. I started this Wednesday for 40 weeks, 40 days. It will end at election time. We are praying, calling in on our free conference in line, 712-432-0900. You have to get the access code if you don't have it. And we're calling out people to receive salvation. We want a revival of salvation. Noon on Wednesdays, I host the call, 1 hour. At 1 p.m., we cut it. And we had a wonderful response the very first week we had, which was this week. So we're praying. So bring your lost to our line. Help us pray. And the names some of the callers brought up was thrilling. I think our third caller says we need to pray for Barack Obama to get saved. And man, did everybody pray. We need to pray for Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Nancy Pelosi. But they had their own family members and friends and pastors even. It was a powerful call. Every Wednesday, we're going to believe God for revival of salvation in this country this year. You've got to go with ministries that bear fruit. This one does. Will you go to the 800 number and say, Faye, I want to keep you going. We need funds for media. We need funds for airtime. We need funds to create our spots that we can get our message on national television. We have everybody to do that, but it takes funds. So today we say, Faye, I am going to stand with you as you protest with seniors, for seniors, and we're going to pray every criminal act of a senator, a congressperson, the CIA, the FBI, the NSA, every criminal act, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Jim Comey, and most of all, Merck. And we're going to pray that Donald Trump will never sit down and talk to that man and dignify him. $10 million to try to manufacture a crime against our president to move him out of office, because that's what the witches prayed for. Well, we prayed against them. They didn't have the whole ball field this year. God has called us to pray all night long. From December the 14th to January 4th, we led all-night prayer meetings. We led the prayer meetings against the witches last year as they were organized to pray the death of President Trump. We sent the death wish back on their heads. We watch and pray. I love my Facebook friends. Please forward this and let us hear from you. You will hear back from my media team because I am swamped. I could use 2 full-time, part-time people right now because we are reaching people. And literally, the liberals in our government are falling like flies. Our prayers, praise the Lord, have come up to the throne room. So let me hear from you. Get our Face Facts Weekly Prayer Bulletin, get on our e-blast, and stay in touch. Connect with us, and we'll be back live again next week right here on Facebook.
Okay.
Alrighty. Let me see. He sent a picture, but